Hey guys, welcome to the first day of class here. This is for August 17th, 2020. I'm just going to be going over a couple things here. So, AP Chemistry Day 1 on, I used to always just do Google Slides for every class, so I'm just kind of doing the same thing here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to review the syllabus real quick. We're going to look at the success criteria after that for Unit 1, and then we're going to also have some quiz practice. Actually, I got to put that in the homework. Quiz number 1 practice. Because that is what you need to do after you watch this video. Also, make sure that you completed the student information sheet as well. I just assigned that too, so make sure you do that. Okay, so most of you know me. I'm Mr. Farrow, Anthony Farrow. I have been teaching at Pearl City for about 9 or 10 years now. It's been a while. I coach the Science Olympiad team, and I also do the hiking club. The hiking club is probably a little bit on hiatus for now, but hopefully we can get that started up again. I do have 2 cats. I have one with me right here, right now, laying on my desk. This is Jack. Hi. And Kiki's outside playing around, so I don't know where she is. But yeah, so that's me. I'm from New Jersey originally. I moved here about 11, 12 years ago, and I live in Milwaukee. If there's any other things you wonder about me, just feel free to ask. But let's just go through all this stuff real quick. So the syllabus, you should have kind of looked through this already over the summer. We're going to try and get through every topic this year. I think it shouldn't be a problem. The AP exam we'll cover everything this year. It'll be a 3-hour exam. Last year the exam was only a 45-minute free response, 2 free response questions, but this year it's going to be the full exam. Okay. The textbook, you should have got a digital version of the textbook. No, because it's kind of a pirated copy. I do have textbooks for everyone when we do eventually get back to school. The course itself is separated into 6 big ideas here, and you'll see as we go through what each one of these means. 25% of the class time is supposed to be spent in lab. I'm going to try and do online labs to make that possible, but I doubt it'll be 25% of the time unless we can get back into the classroom. Hopefully if we get back in the classroom, we can do a whole bunch of labs. I may even give you a bunch of just kind of give you the data for labs and then ask you to complete them with the data that's given to you. But that's not as much fun as actually doing the labs. Okay. You really do need a graphing calculator. It really does help for this class. A TI-84 or later is great. Most of the time I'll be using a TI-84 if I demonstrate anything, because those are the ones I have. Red, blue, and black pens, composition book. You do need a composition book once we get back into the classroom. Right now you don't. Although I kind of do suggest that you keep the labs separate, kind of organize the labs separately, because if you do want to get the credit for the course in college, you sometimes have to show that you've done the labs. Okay, so make sure you keep that separate. And then you also, I don't have it here, but a 3-ring binder for all your work that you do in this class. Now, we're going to be doing a lot of it online, so you might not need that because you might not be printing it out. So you really probably don't need a 3-ring binder at this point. Just make sure you're saving everything on your Google Drive. Make sure you're kind of keeping track of everything in the Google Classroom, and you're kind of lucky that everything is just going to get saved right to my Google Drive, or the class Google Drive, I should say. The grading scale is a little bit different here. I give it A is 85%, B is 75%, C is 65%, and D is 50%. Anything less than a D is an F. This is scaled because the course is difficult, and I try not to lower the difficulty of the questions so that you're ready for the AP exam. And really, at 85% on the AP exam is a 5. So that kind of matches up with an A. Homework is 10%. So that's homework and classwork. So any work that's not actually graded for a grade, that's going to be 10%. Assessments are 60%, so that's a big portion of it. So any graded quizzes or tests, that'll be 60%, and lab is 30%. Okay. Going down here, the chemistry tentative end dates. I have not updated this yet. This is from last year. You're basically just going to push all these dates back by 2 weeks because we're starting 2 weeks late. Okay, so all of these dates, just push them back 2 weeks, and that'll give you a relative idea of when the units are going to end and when you're going to have a comprehensive exam. So we have a whole bunch of quizzes, and then we're also going to have comprehensive exams on each unit. Okay, and those typically quizzes are 20 points or less, and exams are 50 to 100 points. So you can kind of get an idea of the weight of each of those. So exams are much more than each quiz. Okay, the chemistry bookwork. So the bookwork for the summer, I made it this year. I didn't make it mandatory, and I'm debating on whether or not I'm even gonna collect it at all. If you did it, that's great because the first 4 quizzes and the first test is all on the summer work. We're going to practice all that stuff in the first 2 weeks, and then after the first 2 weeks, we'll have our test on the first unit. We're going to have 4 quizzes for the first unit. So the first quiz is actually going to be on Thursday. So yeah, but yeah, all this bookwork. These will typically be due at the end of each unit. I don't give you time, well, we don't have class, but I usually don't give you time in class to do these, but sometimes you do. And don't start doing them just yet because I'm actually going to cut this down, I think, a lot. I'm going to go through and cut down a lot of these numbers, okay? The labs, so these are usually the labs we do. We'll see if we get to what ones we can get to. Lab reports. So when we do our first lab, I'll talk more in depth about this and how you do a lab report. Most of them are going to be just handwritten. I typically do one typed lab report every quarter. So we do a total of 4 typed lab reports. And I usually say full type lab report, full. So you can see where they are right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's usually the ones we do, but we'll see what we get to there. This is going to we'll see how everything goes. These are the unit overviews. This probably doesn't help you too much. These numbers refer to the standards. If you look online, and there's a whole booklet of the standards that are covered by the course, you can look at that if you want, but I kind of break it down more in the concept outline. So that's what I'm going to show you next. So this is the Unit 1 concept outline here. The first quiz, so I actually color-coded this one. It's a mosquito, sorry. So I color-coded this one. The first quiz is on everything in the green. Okay. We're going to practice some of these things, but some of them we're not going to practice. So you just got to make sure you read through all of the packets I gave you over the summer. So I gave you 3 packets and asked you to watch or look through those packets, I think, and do those packets, as well as read the first 3 chapters and do the bookwork. So again, I'm not collecting that bookwork, but you are going to be tested and you're expected to know that material. Okay, so the first quiz is on the green stuff, second quiz is on the red stuff, the third quiz is on the brown stuff, and the purple is the 4th quiz. So 4 quizzes, and again, the first one will be on Thursday. Okay. So next, the quiz practice. So if you look at this, I put quiz practice here. I will actually, and in the assignment here in the Google Classroom, it has the quiz practice. So when you go into the classroom, you'll see this quiz practice 1. I didn't even put it. This I should put here too, on the top, to make it look official. So each of you should, when you open it up, you all get a copy of this. So it'll make a copy for you, and then you'll just have to write the answers in here and then hit submit. And then once you hit submit, I can go through and make sure you got the correct answers. Okay, now for the ones that I ask you to show work, so something like this. This one I asked you to show work. If you choose to and you want to write it on a piece of paper, you want to write all these answers on a piece of paper, and then you can take a picture of it, upload it, and I can grade that way. That's fine. That's fine. If you don't want to do that, There is a way to create, so you see I created these little conversion factors here. So I'm starting with 30 miles per gallon, and let me zoom in a little bit here so it makes it a little easier to see. So 30 miles, ooh, that's mics per gallon. That's not mic, it's miles. Yeah, miles per gallon. 30 miles per gallon. Then I have my next conversion unit, 1 gallon for every 2.4 liters. Don't worry because it's already separated, so it's fine. So how did I do that? Well, I put insert, and I'm inserting an equation. Okay? And then when I insert an equation, a little box will pop up, and then in one of these things, so math operations, relations, all this stuff, you can add Greek letters, you can add all sorts of fun stuff. This one, I'm going to add another conversion factor here. So I'm going to add a fraction right here. So there. So then, so I'm going miles, or actually I'm converting gallons first. Gallons to liters. So you'll see that gallons and gallons cancel out. We'll line up with liters on the bottom, and then we're going from miles. We need to go miles to meters. So there's 1 mile is every 1.61 kilometers. So 1.61 kilometers for every 1 mile. 1 mile. Okay, and there we have our next conversion factor. I don't know why it's off, like you can't see the point there, but whatever's. Yeah, you can't really see the dot. I don't know why. It's not very good, but you get the point there. So if you can just show me those conversion factors, you don't have to do it that way again. You can write it in yourself and take a picture of it if you like. Okay. So just continue doing those conversion factors until you find out how much you get 400, how many meters you can travel in 400 liters of gasoline. So I already gave you a good portion of it, and then yeah. For these ones, for the conversions, you don't need to show work. You just write the answers. For the scientific notation ones, you don't have to show work. You can just write the answers. I did have a question about how to add, subtract, and multiply sig figs for sig figs. So I will go over that a little more in detail later. At some point when we're doing more problems, I can go over that. I haven't gotten a chance to do it yet, but basically sig figs. When you're in doubt in chemistry, do 3 sig figs. Okay, and in the exam, you shouldn't be too concerned with sig figs because it's only like 1 point out of all the points you score, like 100 points. So it's only 1 point, and you can be off by 1 sig fig, either more or less. So if you do 3, you're probably going to be pretty good because most of them are either going to be 2, 3, or 4 sig figs, your answers. So just do 3 sig figs at all times, and you save yourself a lot of trouble, a lot of hassle, and you don't really even have to think about it. Just do it. Do 3 sig figs. And most of the time we're not adding and subtracting, we're just multiplying, dividing. So it's multiplying, dividing is just, you'll use the number with the least number of significant figures. Okay. So anyway, that's all I have to say. That's it. That's the whole video. Make sure you complete the student information sheet as well as this chemistry quiz practice and submit it. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or whatever you need to do. All right. I will see you all later.